Okay. No, not yet, not yet, not yet. Okay, we did all of this. This is the homework. No questions with the homework? Did you take a picture of this homework? Or do you want me to send it to the chat? I can send it to the chat also while you do an activity. Okay?
Yes, if you can, you please send it in the chat.
I think I can. Give me just a sec. Hold on. Sometimes I forget if I don't do it in the moment. Just a sec. Oops. Let me move this. Okay, it's on the chat right now. That's the homework. If you can send it and give me time, like Wednesday, Thursday, that would be perfect. Okay, Tuesday. All right, now let's continue. We're going to start with reporter speech. Okay, I know you're all familiar with reporter speech. Okay. Reporter speech, we're going to focus more on listening and some speaking parts. Again, same book, Unit 11, page 70 to 76, all right? Now, what do we check in reporter speech? Remember, we use this to say what another person has said before, okay? Using reporter speech also indicates a good domain of the English language because the structures with reporter speech are usually heavier and a little bit more difficult than the normal speech, okay, the way we normally speak. And since you have to do something that is called back shifting, you have to use more structures that are not so basic, okay? That is what we're going to check today. I know you know, but let's start, okay? We're going to discuss the first question that opens the unit of this book, okay? I know you all have jobs, so my question for you would be, is there a dress code where you work or where you study or in some of the places you go? Is there a dress code in your office, in your school? Is there a dress code? What do you think, guys?
Not in my current job.
My case too, because Arely and I work in the same place, so we don't have a dress code.
You don't have a dress code?
No, you can wear whatever you want, actually. Well, of course, there are some limits, like common sense, because we work with teenagers. So we are not going to dress
mini
as
skirt, Gloria. You may go with a mini skirt.
Yeah, and some cleavage or something like that. We don't do that. Because yeah, we're not teenagers, like mini skirt and red lipstick, really red lipstick, and you know,
so some
net tights or something like that.
Some schools and some offices have dress codes, some others don't, like the place where you guys work, well, Gloria and Arely, where you don't have a dress code. But sometimes people are not happy when there's no dress code or when there's no uniform, because then they have to wear their clothes.
Yes, I have two experiences. One, when I work in a university, I gave classes to a high school students, and I was asked not to wear jeans. That was the only thing. I can wear whatever I wanted, but not wearing jeans. That was the only thing. And in the other, I work in a company where its name was Camesa. And I was working in the purchasing department. So in this huge company, it was a very big company, and they buy the uniforms for us. Well, it's half and half. The employer pays the half of the uniform, and
Okay.
the business, well, the company pays the other half, and they were 4 uniforms, and on Friday it was free. For from Monday to Thursday they wear a uniform, and you have to select if you want a skirt or if you want a ay, a pants.
Pants?
Yes,
Okay. Okay. Very good.
and that's all. And it was a complete one. It was a best, and you decided the pieces, but you have to pay the half, and the company pays the other half.
Okay. Excellent. So that's on your experience. Constanza, do you prefer to have a uniform where you work or not?
Well, actually, in the spot I work now, or I currently work, it's in community, in a small community. So I have to wear jeans because there are some. It is, how can I say, terracería.
Sorry, how do you say
How can I
what?
say terracería o
Yeah.
tierra? Hay mucha tierra.
You
Small?
let me find out. Hold on. Oh, okay, yes. On May Road.
Unmade roads. Okay. So I have to wear jeans because if I go with high heels or something like that, my shoes will be destroyed at the moment. So I have to choose. I have to use jeans and some kind of boots or road shoes, something like that.
I see that. I see that. So you have options to express this. Streets we have a lot in Mexico, which is terracería. I'm not a fan of the American terminology, but this is how they call it in the United States. They only say dirt track or dirt road, you know, dirt like sucio. And the British, they say unmade road, whichever you prefer.
Okay.
All right. Excellent. So
Remember.
after hearing your opinions, I think we can agree that some people love uniforms because they don't want to, wear their normal clothes to work. And some other people, they prefer to wear whatever they want. So they are not happy sometimes with dress codes, or sometimes, yes, they are. In my experience, I have met many teachers in private English schools that are not happy because they say it's very hot and there's no air conditioning, and the men have to wear ties, and that the women have to wear high heels. Imagine high heels 8 hours. That's crazy. I had a boss in Guadalajara who made the teachers. It was very ironical, very ironic. Me and the coordinators didn't have to wear high heels if we didn't want to. It was our choice. But the teachers, the female teachers, yes. And I remember once I told him, look, we are sitting on a desk with a computer. We can manage the high heels, okay? And you're giving us the option. But to the female teachers, I mean, they are standing up 8 hours on high heels. That's crazy. But sometimes dress codes are like that. Okay, I'm going to play another audio for you. Remember, I told you we were going to practice listening a lot. So you're going to listen to a manager. She's not happy with the way some employees dress. Okay? Before I play it, what do you think she will mention? She's the manager of a company. What aspects do you think she will mention? What aspects?
Maybe, I don't know, some, because there are some employees that they still do it, maybe about some piercings or tattoos. Sometimes they, I don't know, they complain about that.
Yes, sometimes they do. Okay. Anything else? Jasmine, what do you think she will discuss?
Probably, as Gloria said, wear clothes according to the context and use the common sense of what they must wear in their job.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Very good. That's your guess. Now let's hear it and let's check if it matches. Okay. Listen and complete the sentences 1 to 8. 1 to 8. So let me open the audio. Just a second. It's the number 17. Okay. Here it goes.
Track 17, Unit 11, Listening, Exercise 3.
Now, it's been brought to my attention that certain members of staff have been flouting the dress code. So I want to make it crystal clear to everyone just exactly what's expected. Those of you who work on reception must be, how shall I put it, businesslike at all times. That's the look we want to achieve. You are the first people that visitors see when they enter the building. Whether they then go on to the managing director or the canteen is irrelevant. You create the first impression of the company, and as we all know, first and last impressions count. Now, for men, that means wearing a tie and a dark suit. For women, a suit. That can be a tailored trouser suit or a smart dress or skirt and jacket. Blouses must be short or long-sleeved, not sleeveless. It goes without saying that hair and so on needs to be neat and tidy. Now, as for accountants, you never know when a client may come in to see you. You may think you're not in the public relations business, but in a way you are. And I know most of the time people make appointments, but there are occasions when someone just happens to be in the area and decides to drop in. In this case, you represent us. This is a firm with a good reputation. Clients expect their accountant to reflect this, not only in their work, but also in the way they present themselves. Don't forget, in many people's eyes, sloppy clothes means sloppy work, and I must say I tend to agree. The only possible exception to this is Dress Down Friday. But this only applies if you have no appointments with clients in your diary. Now, this doesn't mean that you can turn up wearing whatever you like. No shorts and sandals, please. It's got to be smart casual. That's what it says here. But you can wear smart jeans and a jacket or even a sweater. Now, some things come to my attention that I'm not at all happy about. Training days. It seems as though some of you have got the idea into your head that when you're on a training day, that means you can dress like a student. It does not. You're still a representative of this company. When you go out to the business college, you're judged there too. I've heard remarks about one person who turned up wearing a nose ring. This is not acceptable. It's all in the company's dress code, which you've all had a copy of. What I want to emphasize is that it's a matter of professional pride, the way you dress. I know some people start complaining about civil liberties and all that, but I'm sorry, as I see it, we're all here to do a job. We are employees of a company and we have to toe the line, not only in what we do and how we do our job, but also in the way we dress. If anyone feels particularly aggrieved by any of this, all I can say is that you take it up with the Human Resources Department. But really, I hope I don't have to refer to this again, and I expect to see a dramatic improvement in personal presentation.
Okay, guys? Were you able to complete this?
Not me, teacher.
Okay, then let's hear it again, okay?
Please.
Okay, one more time. It's just 3 minutes long, so we can do it. All right. There.
Track 17, Unit 11, Listening. Exercise 3.
Now, it's been brought to my attention that certain members of staff have been flouting the dress code. So I want to make it crystal clear to everyone just exactly what's expected. Those of you who work on reception must be, how shall I put it, businesslike at all times. That's the look we want to achieve. You are the first people that visitors see when they enter the building. Whether they then go on to the managing director or the canteen is irrelevant. You create the first impression of the company. And as we all know, first and last impressions count. Now, for men, that means wearing a tie and a dark suit. For women, a suit. That can be a tailored trouser suit or a smart dress or skirt and jacket. Blouses must be short or long-sleeved, not sleeveless. It goes without saying that hair and so on needs to be neat and tidy. Now, as for accountants, you never know when a client may come in to see you. You may think you're not in the public relations business, but in a way you are. And I know most of the time people make appointments, but there are occasions when someone just happens to be in the area and decides to drop in. In this case, you represent us. This is a firm with a good reputation. Clients expect their accountant to reflect this, not only in their work, but also in the way they present themselves. Don't forget, in many people's eyes, sloppy clothes means sloppy work, and I must say I tend to agree. The only possible exception to this is Dress Down Friday. But this only applies if you have no appointments with clients in your diary. Now, this doesn't mean that you can turn up wearing whatever you like. No shorts and sandals, please. It's got to be smart casual. That's what it says here. But you can wear smart jeans and a jacket or even a sweater. Now, some things come to my attention that I'm not at all happy about. Training days. It seems as though some of you have got the idea into your head that when you're on a training day, that means you can dress like a student. It does not. You're still a representative of this company. When you go out to the business college, you're judged there too. I've heard remarks about one person who turned up wearing a nose ring. This is not acceptable. It's all in the company's dress code, which you've all had a copy of. What I want to emphasize is that it's a matter of professional pride, the way you dress. I know some people start complaining about civil liberties and all that, but I'm sorry, as I see it, we're all here to do a job. We are employees of a company and we have to toe the line, not only in what we do and how we do our job, but also in the way we dress. If anyone feels particularly aggrieved by any of this, all I can say is that you take it up with the Human Resources Department. But really, I hope I don't have to refer to this again, and I expect to see a dramatic improvement in personal presentation.
Excellent. Okay, let's check. So, number 1 says, first, the manager singles out those who work at the
Reception.
reception, correct, for criticism. Men have to wear a
Tie.
a tie and a dark suit. Clients may come in to see
You unexpectedly. I don't know.
In public relations?
Huh?
Public relations?
No, accountants.
Oh, okay, count.
Accountants at any time. So the way they dress is important.
Could you repeat that word, Miss?
Yes, accountants
With double C.
with double C. ACCOUNTANTS, accountants. Clients may come for the dress code is relaxed in this company on the day called
No appointments?
no.
Friday.
Friday?
Yes, but the day, the way they call the day.
They say free Friday. I don't catch up the word.
Okay, many American companies call Fridays dress down Fridays.
Short. Dress
Dress down.
down.
Dress down means to dress more informally on that day. That's the meaning.
So
Okay.
dress down Friday means not formal?
Not formal, exactly. Relax, casual.
Okay.
Okay. Then she isn't happy about the way employees dress when they take part in
Trainings?
Training.
training days. Yes, in training days. She was appalled to hear that someone had worn
A nose ring.
a nose ring to the
Yes,
business knowledge,
sandals.
or maybe ones that they work here. She recognizes that employees may complain because this is a
Personal.
Dress.
No, that I invented that because I didn't catch.
Yes.
she says civil liberties issues.
Okay.
It's on the chat.
No, it was
Mhm.
civil liberties.
She suggests employees take complaints to the
Human resources
Department.
department.
excellent. She's basically telling them these are the new instructions. This is the way you have to dress. If you have complaints, go to human resources. Probably sign your resignation letter. Excellent. All right. Let's continue. Excellent. Now, reporter speech. Okay. Jasmine, can you please read the paragraph that explains what reporter speech is?
Yes, reported speech is when we tell someone what another person said. To do this, we can use direct speech or indirect speech. Direct speech, I work in a bank, said Daniel. Indirect speech, Daniel said that he worked in a bank.
Very good. Okay. Excellent. So this is reporter speech. I know you know what it is and how you use it. Remember that we have indirect and direct speech. Okay. When you write using reporter speech and using passive voice, it usually sounds more formal. Now, we have something called back shifting rules. And this is a chart on which you can find all of the back shifting rules. Okay, you know, if the direct speech is in present, then it changes in reporter, it goes to past. I always tell my students, you have to go 1/10 back. That's why we call it back shifting. Present simple, past simple. Present continuous, past continuous. Present perfect, past perfect. Present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous. Past simple, past perfect. Past continuous, past perfect continuous. Past perfect, no change, because there is nothing more than past perfect. Okay, will, would, can, could, must, had to, may, might, ought to, doesn't change. Should have, would, should have, doesn't change. It remains should have. Would doesn't change. Couldn't doesn't change. And might doesn't change because there's no other more in the past than those. Okay, these are the back shifting rules. Are you familiar with reporter speech? No problems? Okay, suggestion, if you can take a picture of the chart, you might use it. Letty, you're raising your hand.
Yeah, what about, can we use reporter speech with passive voice? For example, someone said something in passive voice and I want to report what he said, but he used passive voice.
For example, Letty told
It is said, no? It is said.
Letty told me that Mona Lisa was painted by Da Vinci.
But it's the same because imagine
Changes to the past.
there's 3 people. It's we have Areli, Bere, and Letty. And Areli says, the Mona Lisa is a great picture. And then you want to report what Letty said, what Areli said to Bere. So you would say, Bere, Areli said the Mona Lisa was a very good painting. It's the same back shifting rules, even though it's passive voice. Why is it the same? Because the tenses will always be the same. If it's in present, it changes to past. It's the
For
same.
example, what Arely says, the Mona Lisa was painted by who was? I forget.
Da Vinci.
Da Vinci. Thank you, thank you.
Yes, exactly. The Mona Lisa was painted by Da Vinci.
And suppose that the guy tour said that one. No? So I want to report what he said. I think that will be the guy tour said the Mona Lisa
Have been painted.
painted.
Uh-huh.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, because you change it to past perfect. Had if you
The
said
was painted is in past, so we have to change it into past perfect.
past perfect, yes. This is
Okay.
why this chart comes in handy. It helps you see the structures. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
you can take a picture of this. It's useful. And this picture is going to help you because now we're going to put it to the practice. Okay. Okay. So let's do this. Did you take your picture? Yes. All right. Now it says, imagine you were on the phone. Imagine you were on. Okay, one. Sorry, I didn't read one. Imagine you were one of the people the manager was talking to. Change these sentences into reporter speech. Start each sentence with the words given. Okay, check the example. It's been brought to my attention that certain members of staff have been floating the dress code. Now, reporter speech. She said that it had been brought to her attention that certain members of the staff had been floating the dress code. What did she change? It's been brought, it's present, it's been brought. She says now it had been brought.
And had been brought.
So present perfect changes to past perfect.
Past perfect.
Okay. So it's
Past perfect. Oh, yes. Sorry. I was.
perfect. So start each sentence with the words given. For example, number one, I want to make crystal clear to everyone just exactly what's expected. So you have to start with the expression she clarified. Okay. She clarified. And how would you change that sentence?
She clarified.
She wanted
Wanted.
to make it crystal clear to everyone just exactly what was expected.
Exactly. Okay. Now, how do you feel more comfortable? I want to bring this to the table. Do you prefer to do this orally now altogether, or do you feel better if you write the answers?
I think that it would be better if we write them.
Let's put it to the vote. Who says right? Can you raise your hand? One says right. One, Constanza, two. Three, Letty, two. 1, 2, 3, and we have 1, 2, 3. We have a tie. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 and 4. So let's do it.
Or we can practice 2 or 3 in orally and the other ones.
Yes, that was what I was going to say. We already did number 1 oral. So let's do the first 5 oral and the last 5 written. Okay. Now, who wants to read number 2 and change it? Who wants to give it a try?
Me.
Okay, Letty?
She insists that those of them who worked on reception must be businesslike at all times.
Exactly. Those of you who worked with ED, correct. Okay.
Of you, I think.
Yeah, because you're just transcribing the same.
But maybe it's them.
Ah.
Because
Or
it's
is it
referring
not
to
them?
someone else. It's not them.
Oh, because it says to use the words given, just this particular.
Ah, okay.
That's why, right? but it's correct. Next one, Jasmine.
I got some issues with reported speech, teacher.
Can I
Okay.
Can I help
Me.
her?
Yes.
Me.
Who says Mildred? Okay, Mildred and then
in
Bere.
this? She reminded them, sorry, she reminded not to forget, not to forget, in many people's eyes, Sloppy. Well, that I get confused now because I thought that it was not to forget, but I'm not sure about that one.
Yes, you can report the negatives like that, not to forget, in many people's eyes, sloppy clothes,
Meant.
Meant.
men,
Meant
Sloppy
sloppy
work.
work.
So you have two options here, and it's correct, Mildred. She reminded us not to forget, and means changes to meant, or she reminded us, that in many people's eyes, and meant. Okay, those two options work. Bere, last one.
Yes, Miss. She pointed out that I was not at all happy about the way some people dressed for training days.
See, in
That
this
she.
one, in this
She-
one, yes, you need to change it because if you say I, you change the subject.
She
She
pointed
was
out
not-
that she was not
was
at
not
all
She
happy.
happy.
wasn't. Did I say was? She was. She was
No,
not.
you say I was
was
not.
not.
Okay. No. She pointed out that she was not all happy about the way some people dressed for training days.
Exactly, correct. Okay. See, it's not very difficult. Do we do it oral or
Yes, oral.
better? Okay,
Yes.
next one. Next one, Areli, then Gloria, then Ismael, then Constanza, and then we repeat Letty and Mildred. Okay.
Okay. Number
Sophie.
5. Num-
Sorry, I was calling my dog. Sorry.
Sophie's not around. Okay, next one, please.
Okay. Number 5. She said that it seems as though some of you have gotten the idea into your head that when you are on a training day, you can dress like a student.
You could, no?
Yes, but there's
You
one
could.
more you need to change. She said that
It seems
it
It
seems
seemed. Mhm.
as though some of you had gotten the idea into your head that when you are on a training day, you could dress like a student.
You
Yes.
wear.
when
It is
you
not you wear on
when
a
you
training
wear
day.
On a training day, you could dress like a
dress
student.
like a
No, I
student.
need to change the whole
All
verbs.
of them.
You need to change seem to seemed.
Seemed, had gotten,
No,
or had.
have got is the same. Well, some of you had got, yes,
Had got, had
and
got,
then you were
you were,
could dress.
and could. Okay.
Mhm.
Yes, I just changed to. Okay. Thank you.
Because it needs to be on the same line.
Okay.
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 All right. Gloria's still laughing. Gloria, you're next.
Yes, I'm sorry. It's just that he's a puppy and he is really naughty.
I know.
And I know he's doing something that he shouldn't.
But everybody here in the class we say like this. Okay.
Yes, but he hasn't come yet like us, like, but well, okay. She criticized someone who had turned up wearing a nose ring.
Come again, Gloria, can you repeat it?
She criticized someone who had turned up wearing a nose ring.
She criticized someone that you said that had turned
Who had
Who had turned
turned
up.
up
up.
wearing a nose ring.
Exactly. All right, next one. Who was next? Ismael, number 7.
He's like a ghost, miss.
Ismael, probably not here. Okay, Bere, can you can you give us the answer?
It's the ghost of our course. Because,
Ismael, he left. Okay,
okay, number 7, miss.
yes.
It's because
please.
you're always calling him and he never answers. That's why I said maybe he's a ghost.
He was here, but now he's not. Okay.
So you say number 7?
Yes, please.
Okay, what I want to emphasize is that it's a matter of professional pride, the way you dress. Okay, she stressed that, my God, it was a matter of professional pride, the way you dressed.
Okay, so she stressed that it was a matter of professional pride the way that we dress. Correct.
Yes.
Okay, who was to say number 8? I don't remember.
Me, Constanza.
Okay, Constanza, please.
She said we had to toe the line.
We had to toe the line. Okay, correct. Number 9.
I think it's me.
Letty?
She suggested that if anyone felt particularly aggrieved by any of those, all she could say is that they should take up with the human resources department.
So you said felt, right?
Felt, could, should is the same. Should.
And should.
Mhm.
Should the same. Perfect. Correct. Okay, and who was going to give us the last one?
Can
I
try?
don't know.
Um,
Jasmine asked me.
Jasmine.
I don't know if it's
it was me.
It was Mildred, I think, right?
Okay, go.
You
go.
have the answer, Mildred? Mildred? Now Mildred left. Mildred, are you there?
Yes, sorry, I have some audio issues. That's why I couldn't answer before. Number 10, she hoped she didn't have to refer to that again.
Correct. Correct. Okay. Before we continue, this is a very British expression, but do you know the expression to toe the line? When you have to toe the line, let me put it on the chat. Expression to toe the line. It means to do what you are expected to do without causing trouble for anyone. This is the meaning. To do what you're expected to do when you have to do it without causing trouble to anyone. That's why she said, you have to toe the line. Okay. Excellent. Now, something important, a corpus spot. Corpus spots are useful because they show us the mistakes students have made when they take this exam in particular. Okay, so it says, the Cambridge English corpus shows exam candidates often make mistakes with verbs like recommend, tell, suggest, etc. Correct these sentences written by exam candidates. Now this is going to be individual work. You can take 3-4 minutes to correct the mistakes from 1 to 7. Okay, please raise your hands when you're done. Try not to take a lot of time, okay?
Teacher,
Yes?
teacher, sorry, we have to spot the mistakes from 1 to 7, that's all?
Yes, that's it. Ready? Yes? Okay. For example, number 1 says, I think it's recommend to book in advance.
Me,
Areli,
it is recommended to book in advance.
it is recommended to book in advance. Correct. I would recommend to ask for further information.
Me recommend you, teacher.
Okay, I would recommend you, not exactly. Any other option?
Suggest you,
Recommend and ask. This is what you can do. I would recommend asking for further information, or I would recommend that you ask for further information. Okay?
So I would recommend asking for further information.
Yes.
Or
that you ask for further information.
But how do we know which to use?
Both are correct, so whichever you use would be correct. It's a matter of preference. For example, me, I would recommend asking. It's a matter of preference, but both are correct. Okay. 3. It was
said, it was.
Okay.
I don't know, me or Betty, I don't know.
Okay, let's do Gloria 3, Bere 4. Bere, are you sure of 4? Because I normally give you one you're not sure of.
I'm not sure about 4, but go ahead.
Okay, then you 3, Gloria 4.
Okay.
Okay. I wrote, it was said to us that the problem, well, I changed everything. The problems were going to be solved.
Okay, you're right in changing more than one thing, but it was said, okay, it's another way to see it, but you can say it with told in a different way.
We were told.
Yes,
told.
we were told that the problem would be solved, or that the problems were going to be solved. Two options, two correct options. We were told, it was said to us, it's also correct.
Okay.
That the problems would be solved, or that the problems were going to be solved.
Okay.
Okay? Okay, Gloria, next one.
I'm not that sure, but it's been suggested having a film club.
You say it's been suggested. It has been suggested what?
That we have a film club once
That
a
we
month.
have a film club. Yes, that we have a film club once a month. Correct. Next one, Mildred.
Sorry, teacher, I still with some see audio issues. What number? Sorry.
5.
Okay. He suggested asking Colin to make the opening speech. Is it possible?
Suggested asking Colin, exactly, to make the opening speech. Yes. So 2 options here. He suggested asking Colin, correct? Or he suggested that you ask Colin to make the opening speech. Both are correct. If you ask me, I don't know why, but I prefer using ing a lot. It sounds more natural. After suggest and recommend, you usually use ing. Okay. 6, Constanza. Constanza, are you there?
Teacher, I have some audio problems and I can't hear very well. So
Okay, don't worry, Letty can help you. Letty, can you help us with number 6?
Number 6. He regrets not having enough time to play an instrument.
Okay, he regrets not having, you said, not having? Not having enough time to play an instrument, correct.
Well, according to, because to be honest, I don't get it very well how. So I checked the rules in the book, and according to the table, we have that option.
Not having, yes, it's correct. Oh, what are you asking me? Sorry, I couldn't. You said not having?
Not having.
Yes, not having is correct. But what is the thing that you don't understand? The negatives?
Well, in general, it's like, why should we choose one instead of, for me, it's not like an explanation of, or why we couldn't use 2. I think it's because there are some verbs that follow some rules.
Yes, exactly.
What I understand.
That's the thing. There's a list of verbs. How can we classify the verbs like this? We say after these verbs, you use an infinitive, which is to and the verb. And after other verbs, we use ing. After recommend and after suggest, after regret, or after promise, we use ing.
Yeah, now I get it, because I was lost.
I can send you the list. Remind me during the week. Let it remind me, and I have a list, and I can share it in the C1 group.
Okay, yeah.
After what verbs you use ing, and after what verbs you use to. Okay?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
All right. And Areli, last one.
Oh, teacher, oh my God, I wrote, we promised there would be 35 stalls at the charity day.
We promise there would be, you said.
Yes.
Exactly, you eliminate it. We promise
Okay.
there would be, yes. Or you can say we promise there would be, or you can say we promise that there would be. Both are correct. But it doesn't have to do anything there. Okay. All right, and speaking, important, speaking, exam spot. It says in paper 4, the speaking test, part 2, you will be given the opportunity to speak for about 1 minute without interruption. Here's the suggestion. When you are in this part 2 of the speaking test, speak. Don't ask the examiner, is the time up or should I stop now? Don't. That takes away points until the person tells you, thank you, that's okay. All right, or until the person interrupts. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad if the person interrupts or if the person cannot smile or cannot engage in conversation. This is how we are trained. I remember when they were training me for these Cambridge exams, they told us you cannot laugh. And sometimes it's very difficult because sometimes the speaker says something and they laugh, and if you don't laugh back, it is like you're being rude, grosero, and the person gets nervous and they are like, oh my God, but this is what you have to do. I am an oral examiner of Cambridge, and then the Cal EPT, the Cal EPT also tells you not to conversate, but in some occasions, yes, you can smile, but you cannot talk more to the candidate. And since normally you use a computer and they record, if they hear, it's bad for you. So don't feel bad if the person has a poker face. It's the job, okay? So when you have to talk about for 1 minute without interruption, don't ask, is my time finished? No, just talk until they interrupt you. You are asked to compare 2 photos from a set of 3. Okay, so once again, you have 3 pictures and you have to compare 2 of those 3, and also you have to comment on the photos. When you compare the photos, you can talk about the similarities you see, about the differences. If you feel you still have time and you already describe every physical element of the picture, what you can do is to say, oh, the man, I don't know, the man seems sad, probably because he had a long, hard day at work. And you can start imagining situations only after you finish the physical features, what you see there, okay? After you have finished speaking, your partner, because in some part of the Cambridge exam, it's individual, and in other parts, you are there with another person. So when you finish in this part, then your partner will be asked questions about your photos, and they will have 30 seconds to respond. So important. If you are there in the room, for example, let's imagine Gloria is there and Letty is there, and they ask Letty to describe the pictures, instead of Gloria thinking, wait, did I turn off the lights when I was coming here? No, concentrate on what Letty is saying, because they will ask you. Okay, so concentrate. This is important about the part 2 of speaking. It's something like this, okay? So suggestions. Imagine they will show you these pictures. You choose 2, you compare those 2. Something like this, all right? Now check, let's do this activity. When comparing things, try to use appropriate connecting phrases. I'm choosing this activity from the book because number 1, we cannot choose all the activities, and number 2, we choose the ones that are more relevant. This one is relevant because now we're going to practice for the speaking part. So try to use appropriate connecting phrases, and you have to add as many words or expressions as you can do to the lists we have. For example, When you talk about similarities, you can use similarly, you can use and, you can say they both show, okay, or more. These are only examples. When you talk about differences, you can use words like whereas, but, in contrast, on the other hand, and more you can think of. All right? So here, another part of your homework is going to be think of more words you can add to this list of similarities and differences. For example, thinking fast, I would say similar to, or using as the expression for similarities. All right? It's easy homework. Now, we're going to do a listening activity. It says, well, is the homework clear? Yes? All right. We're going to do a listening activity now. It says, listen to Angela and Luciano commenting on 2 of the photos. And you have to write the answers to these questions. 1, what connecting phrases does Angela use? 2, does Angela think the suit the man is wearing in photo A is conventional, flamboyant, or inappropriate? 3, does Angela suggest that the man in photo B is a banker, a naturalist, or a teacher? All right? So this is a listening for gist, or listening for, listening for specific information activity. Okay? Are you ready? All right, let me play the listening for you.
Track 18, Unit 11, Speaking, Exercise 2.
In this part of the test, I'm going to give each of you some pictures. I'd like you to talk about them on your own for about a minute, and also to answer a question briefly about your partner's pictures. Angela, it's your turn first. Here are your pictures, A and B. They show people wearing different types of clothes. I'd like you to compare the pictures and say why these people may have chosen to wear these clothes and what the clothes might tell us about the wearer. All right?
Okay. In photos A and B, they are both pictures of men, but they are wearing very different clothes. In picture A, we can see a man wearing a suit, and in fact the stripes are quite prominent. It's not a subtle sort of stripe that the typical businessman wears. And there's another interesting thing about this suit. It's shiny. That's quite flamboyant. Then this man is wearing a tie, sort of pink with deeper stripes. Again, that's outrageous, some might say. This leads me to think that perhaps he's not a businessman who works in a bank or insurance company, but perhaps he's something to do with the arts or in advertising. It's got to be a profession which allows him to express his slightly extrovert personality. In contrast, in photo B, there's a man wearing casual clothes. He's wearing some sort of brown top with a zip, and then over that, he's got another blue jacket, which is undone. It looks as if it's made of that fleece material. He's got a scarf tucked into his top. His trousers have got large pockets on the sides of the legs. Quite fashionable, I think. I'm not absolutely sure, but perhaps they might be made of corduroy. And then he's wearing walking boots. Looking at this picture, I would say this man is enjoying some time at the weekend, out in the country. He's a man who loves being out in nature, and he's quite a free thinker. I can't imagine him working in a bank either. Look at his hair. He could be a teacher.
Thank you. Now, Luciano, which picture shows the clothes that you would be most comfortable wearing?
Oh, definitely picture B. I feel much better when I'm wearing casual clothes, and I would certainly never wear a suit like that.
Thank you.
Okay. Was the listening enough? Yes. This one was easier, right? So what connecting phrases does she use? What were you able to catch?
But
In contrast,
in
or-
contrast, perhaps, I'm not absolutely sure.
It seems to be.
It seems to be. Okay. So
leads me to think.
Sorry, Gloria?
Leads me to think. She said
Leads me
that
to
leads
think.
me to think.
Good. You're able to find and hear these words. It means you know the words. So the idea is now use them when you're on this part of the exam. Okay. 2, does Angela think the suit the man is wearing in photo A is conventional, flamboyant, or inappropriate?
Flamboyant.
Flamboyant.
Flamboyant. Okay, what's the meaning of that word?
I think that she refers that it is shiny and it's not usual. It
Flamboyant. Flamboyant means different adjectives in Spanish. It means llamativo, extravagante, ostentoso, vistoso, recargado, all of those. Okay, that's the meaning of flamboyant. 3, does Angela suggest that the man in photo B is a banker, a naturalist, or a teacher?
A teacher.
A teacher.
A teacher. Exactly, a teacher. Right. Was this easier?
Teacher.
Yeah.
Very good. Now, let's start. We won't be able to finish this. We won't be able to finish, but we can start, okay? We need to take a look at how the speaking test looks, okay? So I think I can talk about this here and probably part 1 today, right? So the speaking test has 4 parts, okay? That's what you have to know. Remember, the test is divided in use of language, reading and use of language, the listening test, and the speaking test. The speaking test has 4 parts, and it lasts 15 minutes per pair of candidates. It means you and another person will go inside in pairs, all right? 4 parts. It tests your ability to communicate effectively in face-to-face situations. And important to know, don't be surprised, you will take the speaking part with another candidate, a person probably you have never seen in your life. Okay, Areli, you're raising your hand. Hello, Areli? Or maybe Areli is not there, but I thought she was raising her hand. Okay.
Yes, teacher, sorry, but I couldn't unmute my microphone, sorry. I was checking this.
Oh, don't worry. Do you have a question?
No.
Okay, since your hand was up, I thought.
Oh,
all right.
sorry.
This is the part that I need to be clear. It lasts 15 minutes. It has 4 parts. It's about face-to-face situations, and you will take the test, with another candidate. Is this clear? Okay, let's take a look at part 1. This, okay, important. This part, this, what you have here on my screen, you don't see that. This is what I see. This is my guide. So I'm giving you extra help here, okay? This is what we see when we have the oral test with you as oral examiners. This part lasts 2 minutes, 3 minutes, okay? This is the introduction part. Pretty much the person will tell you good morning or good evening, good afternoon. My name is Nancy, and this is my colleague, Joanne, and your names are, you say your names. Okay, can I have your mark sheets, please? And then you will have to give the person your mark sheets, okay? The person would say, thank you. First of all, I'd like to know something about you. And then the person is going to choose 1 or 2 questions from this, and you will take turns to answer. Easy questions: where are you from? What do you do there? Or what do you do here? How long have you been studying or teaching English? What do you enjoy the most about learning English? Easy questions. This part, I believe you can handle. It's a piece of cake for you, okay? Just relax, breathe, don't get nervous, okay? After you comment, then they ask your partner some questions that are very similar to these ones, and that's it, okay? Then I, as an oral examiner, would select 1 or more questions from the following. So maybe I decide to ask, what free time activities do you most enjoy? The person would say, oh, I really enjoy hiking and listening to music. And normally that's all they say. And we have to say why. We have to say why a lot. Why, how? Because it's an oral test. We want to take out the words from you. Why? Then you give me reasons, okay? If you only mention the activity, it's okay, but it's only sports or nouns. And if I ask why, then I can start checking your structures. That's why we ask. Okay, Bere, please help me read the kind of questions they can ask you in this part.
Yes, miss. Where are you from? What do you do here or there? How long have you...
The ones at the bottom part.
Good morning? Or
no, the last ones. What free time activities?
Okay, thank you. Sorry. What free time activities do you most enjoy and why? What sort of work would you like to do in the future? Why? Do you think you spend too much time working or studying? Why? Why not? Do you like using the internet to keep in touch with people? Have you celebrated anything recently? How? If you could travel to one country in the world, where would you go and why? How important is it to you to spend time with your family? Why not? Who do you think, I'm sorry, I can see. Who do you think has had the greatest influence on your life and why?
Okay, excellent, very good. How do you feel these questions? I think they're easy. I think you could answer them without any difficulties.
I think that they are easy, even though in that moment we feel nervous and it's as if you were in Miss Universe and you start thinking about a lot of options to answer. So I think that maybe, I don't know if it's a suggestion or a tip, we can get the idea of the question, because sometimes we start talking and we do not focus on the real question. So we need to emphasize in those words, and maybe we need to look up for synonyms. If we don't know the exactly word, we need to come up with new ideas according to the synonyms or the easy words that we use to try or to talk with. And one thing that I was told about these suggestions is that all the answers, for example, would be correct. I don't know if I can express this, but for example, what free time activity do you enjoy? Do you most enjoy? And they say, oh, basketball. Why? Because I love Michael Jordan. No, I don't know. And that's all. And the answer is going to be correct, but the level, no, it's important because they are talking about the level, in the way you answer.
Exactly, yes. In this part, there are, as Areli said, there are no right or wrong answers, okay? And if you say, because I like Michael Jordan, that's it, the person would say, okay, and will ask something to your partner. I mean, they will try to make you speak, but if that doesn't happen, it's okay, they won't force you, but depending on your answer, the grammar you use, the kind of vocabulary, the better score you get. Just keep that in mind.
Teacher, I have a question here. It's easier to use idioms or expression not so formal, in order to sound native, but I don't know if it's a formal question. So to use idioms or to use some expressions.
Yes, you can use idioms here, no problem. Just don't use something that is too informal, right? Like don't arrive and say, what's up, dog, to the person. I mean, no, not something too informal. But idioms, sayings, yes, of course, no problem.
Okay.
Okay? Just keep it like casual, this part. You can do it, okay? All right, any other question? Guys, no? Okay.
Are we going
And
to practice something next class?
yes, actually, for the next class, we're going to practice this part, not so much because it's too easy, but we're going to check all of those and we're going to pretend I am the oral examiner and then we take turns, okay? Yes, we're going to practice the different parts of the exam because the more familiar you are, the better, okay? And then the listening. So I will see you next class. And if you don't have any questions, or tell me, do you have any questions about the topics we covered today? No?
No, teacher, we need to practice.
Yes, but we also have direct speech. It is my question.
Yes.
It's so when we are using direct speech, it means that nothing changes.
Yes, nothing changes because it's direct.
It's direct.
You only use the reported when you repeat what another person said.
Okay. So if I say I'm happy and Gloria say, well, what did she say? She says she is happy, or you have to use she said she is happy. That is my question.
Okay.
You say?
Actually, in the grammar book says the only difference would be if you're quoting, when you quote, you know what is quote? Citar. When you quote, in writing, you use this, comillas. You could say, she says she is happy, and it's correct.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Okay. So when you're quoting, you say the same. And another grammatical difference is if you start your sentence saying, she says, in present, says, things, recommends, then you quote, you use the same. She says she's happy. If you use said, it's reported. She said she was happy.
All
That's
right.
the difference between those grammatically and in books.
Okay. Thank you, Miss.
All right, you're welcome. So guys, Letty, yes?
Yeah, I have some material about reported speech. I think it's really useful. Can I share my screen?
Can you what?
Share my screen?
Yes, sure.
But it's not.
Actually, there are many books. If you want, Letty, you can share also to the, where? Oops.
In the chat, Letty, in the chat box or in the C1.
Okay, I made this by myself because it was difficult for me. So it's very simple. You have this table for sentences and you print it in one paper, in a piece of paper, and you print it the other part. It's the same. So basically the idea is this has numbers because it's gradual. And for example, you have here, now the first sentence. It says Nick. Nick says this one. No? Walker doesn't eat meat. So what is the reported speech for this part, for this sentence? Nick said that Walker didn't eat meat. So, but the thing is, I don't know, I feel kind of useful to print it like this. This is small cards. Can you see it? So you have here the example, and in the back you have the answer. So you can do it by yourself all the time. And my advice is that first practice by yourself, no? all the cards, the 25 cards. And then ask to someone to read, just to read the sentence, because this is like improve your listening and try to think. It forces you to think what is the answer and pay attention to the verb tenses and the whole information that you have in the card. As you can see at the beginning, it's very easy, but once that you start the next numbers, like for example, 25 is the most difficult. You need to repeat the whole sentence, but with the report speech. So I can, I'm going to send this file, just print it, like in a normal piece of paper into parts, and then just paste it and then cut it. And you can use this with yourself and your students. Believe me, I have been using this kind of cards for 2 years with my students, and they really catch the topic very, very quickly. After whatever explanation that you give, this kind of exercise really improve. You will never forget it again, and you will master report speech.
Perfect. Send it in the chat, and I will also send you guys more materials. All right.